what we're going to do to give you a little introduction to this group is that this is going to be very practical, because this is for an opportunity for you to hear from small businesses that are actually doing the work, that are what's working for them, what's not working, how they're using social media in their business. So you've heard a lot of good ideas here in the last day and a half, and now we want to turn that around to the specific things that real businesses are doing, and what that opportunity is. And so first, I wanted to give you a little bit. I want you to listen to these words here. All right. All right, that is the champion, Carrie Underwood. How many of you knew that came out at the Super Bowl this year? And it's a great memory for me to see the Eagles overcome the evil Patriots. But more so than that, that song is, it's meaningful to me. I want it to be meaningful to you too. It talks about the champion. As a small business, we have to have an overcomer's mindset, right? We have to be willing to step out, take risks. We have to prepare. We have to do the work. And you're going to hear some things today when they're talking about things that worked, things that didn't work. And but the goal is that like that song, The Champion, is a motivational song. It stirs you and it empowers you. As a matter of fact, I have that song in my half marathon playlist. Okay, so I've run 2 half marathons this year already, and I listen to the music while I'm running. That comes up at just about mile 5. It repeats at mile 10, and it repeats at mile 12. And those are specific things because those are key points for me. So I kind of break a half marathon down into segments like that. So it's the first 5. I know I've got basically, I'm at my checkpoint 1, and I want to be motivated to get on to the next piece. At 10 miles, then I've accomplished something, but I got a distance to go yet. And then I got that piece at 12 to hear it again because, I have to have that champion mindset. I'm not out there, I'm not going to win the race, but I'm trying to beat a personal best. For businesses, we're trying to succeed. We are trying to innovate. We're trying to adapt. We're trying to be there for our families, for our, ourselves, and for our community to deliver a good product. And so that's I want you to take with you this afternoon that kind of champion mindset. You're going to hear their stories, and this is how they're fighting forward. This is how they are working at things to ultimately succeed. So you were introduced to them a little bit, but I'm going to let them say a little bit more because you're going to hear, like Mark, for instance, actually has more than one business that he's going to talk from perspectives on. So go ahead and again, just say, your business, and I want you to say as well, if there is divisions, feel free to say both of those kind of things, and then who the primary customer is that you're going to be trying to reach with social media for that business. Okay, so Mark, you want to start it off?
Sure, why not? Again, my name is Mark Boker. My business is Alter Ego Comics, and I think Mike was alluding to the fact that I have an e-commerce component to my business as well as the brick and mortar component, and I did it backwards. I actually started the website first 15 years ago and opened the brick and mortar business 2 years after that. And my customer bases are different, which is almost like running 2 different businesses. The website customer, on average, spends about $200 per order. The brick and mortar customer spends about $30 per order. And so I'm dealing with people all over the country with the website, people primarily in Allen County with the brick and mortar location. Anything more specific than that?
Anything demographically, age brackets or gender, those type of things with that?
I'm going to break the rules with this because everyone has said about how you need to focus on your niche customer. My niche customer has existed for many, many years, and that's the cast of The Big Bang Theory. That's the typical nerd geek that may live in their parents' basement at age 35 and doesn't know how to talk to women and that sort of thing. And no offense to anybody out there who is one of my core customers. I love you all. But my broader way of looking at it is, by a show of hands, who has seen a Marvel Comics movie? You are all my potential customers. That's, unfortunately, to me, I think if you're going to the movies, if you're watching The Walking Dead, if you're doing things like that, then comics are for you. It's just another form of serialized entertainment.
Okay, thanks.
As was said earlier, I am Teresa Schnipke. I work for the Allen County Board of Developmental Disabilities, and I represent the over 50 crowd that started their careers without a PC, without cell phones, and now can hold it in my hand. So I know very little about everything everybody else knows here, but it's been very interesting. Our target audience is actually split. We serve just about 900 people. We're the only social service agency that actually serves babies until the end of life. So we have a wide range of services. But besides who we serve and our families and individuals with disabilities, taxpayers of Allen County, all of you potentially are our customers who we're trying to reach so that people know what we do, who we are, the positivity that can be, shown for Lima for individuals with disabilities. We want you to hire them, so we're not selling a product, but more awareness, social awareness.
Hello again, everyone. First, I'll start by clarifying a statement I made in my presentation because I think I threw a lot of people a curveball. I know I did, Mike. When I talked about us backing down on our social media, that does not mean we have abandoned social media. We still run Facebook ads. What I meant by that is we're making the change from having an outside agency run our social to running it internally. So that's why things have been pretty quiet, but we consistently still have run Facebook ads. And I talked this morning about who our target audience is. As I told you, there's quite a few people, but when we're talking about end consumer, ours is middle-aged females, specifically moms. That is we're pretty dialed in on who buys our products.
Excellent. All right. Okay. Now, kind of related with that, maybe Ashley, you can start with this, and that is purposes of social media for your business. So there can be different things: lead generation, list growth, just brand awareness, direct sales. Anything that you want to say of where you put some focus on that, or even percentages maybe on how you try to target some of that?
Yeah. So it's a little bit of everything. I would say probably about 25% direct sales,
okay.
Primarily through our Facebook ads. More so, our social has been a lot about customer service. It's been a great way for us to reach out to our customers if they have an issue, if they have a question. So I would say probably about 50% is now customer service based. So both people that have a complaint or people that are just fans and want to spread the word about our brand. And then another 25% on growing custom business, just people saying, can you do this? So again, direct sales, but for new and developing products.
Okay. All right. Mark?
For us, we focus on two of the, I think, 4 E's that someone talked about yesterday. Most of our social is aimed at educating or entertaining our followers. We don't really do any hard selling of anything. When we do Facebook ads, it's usually driving people to an event or making them aware of something big going on in the comic book world, something along those lines. So on all of the social channels, it's about educating and entertaining for right now.
Primarily ours would be disability awareness, education, and I would say a heavy dose of what we do is spreading good news, good messages, and the good things going on in Lima, Allen County.
Okay, and keep the mic there, Teresa. And then let's go a little bit granular then, and now talk about on a weekly basis. What might a week look like, or where are you posting? What are you posting? Is it video? Is it images? What's that on a weekly basis look like? Is it going to be multiple times per day on some channel, nothing on this channel? What's that look like more specifically?
Okay, we are very blessed to actually work with Now Marketing and Morgan, and she'll set up our whole month, and generally a post a day. We use Facebook would be our primary, most followers. Twitter we don't do quite as good with, but I actually got a clue this morning in one of the sessions about maybe why not and what I could do differently there. This last year I kind of ditched Pinterest. That really wasn't our thing, and Instagram is kind of picking up. So on any given day, we're going to have a post of some kind, a video, a picture, just a positive saying. But this week, we actually have career camp going on, so then I'll do the real events going on. So I posted 3 different pictures of students around town at Petco and Springview Manor that are looking for jobs and trying to check out what they could do in the future. So that's kind of what a week would look like for us.
I handle all of the social media accounts for Alter Ego. So if I'm busy, then stuff doesn't happen, which I'm sure many of you can relate to. I was talking to my table mates at lunch, and I think that if you go back and look at social media stats for the business over the last few years, you'll see a spike like this week every year. Always at Social Media Week Lima, all of a sudden stuff starts going up. But a good week, the only thing that we do regularly is a Facebook Live video on Wednesdays. My manager and I do a review show where Wednesday is New Comic Book Day. Somebody was, I think it was Fanzo, talking about New CD Day on Tuesdays. Comics come out every Wednesday. So my manager and I read a bunch of comics Tuesday night, and then we talk about the ones that we liked on Wednesday. And we used to do it on YouTube. Now we do it on Facebook Live. I download that video, upload it to YouTube, rip out the audio, push that out to a podcast. So I use that out and make 3 pieces of content from that. The rest of it is kind of like fly by the seat of your pants for me. I posted some things yesterday. I try and post at least once a day on Facebook. I try and post at least once a day on Instagram. It's rare that I think it through. It's rare that I sit down, and I did that on Monday because I knew I would be busy all week, and I looked at who the celebrity birthdays were this week. Zoe Saldana, who is Uhura in the Star Trek movie, and she's Gamora in the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. So she's a geek person. Her birthday was Tuesday, so I did a post about that. Chris Pratt's birthday is today, for anybody who's a Chris Pratt fan. And Jurassic World comes out tonight or tomorrow, so there's a post going up today about Chris Pratt, who was in Guardians of the Galaxy and Jurassic World. So a lot of it is, and if something happens, I check, like Mike was saying earlier in his presentation, I use Feedly every day, and Feedly's a blog aggregator program or site. So it pulls posts that are related to my industry. I look at comics, I look at action figures and things like that, and I'll retweet that stuff. I'll share those posts. So a lot of it is what's happening now.
Okay. How about Instagram? Are you using Instagram?
Yes. Instagram has become probably our number 2 behind Facebook as far as activity and engagement. And finding I'm really enjoying it. Because the stuff that we do with the education and the entertainment, what I found works best for my company is pictures of my staff doing things at the shop.
Yep.
It can be, packing a box. It can be trying to lift Thor's hammer. It can be, ridiculous stuff, and that's the stuff that gets the most engagement. I try not to just post product pictures or covers of comics or things like that. The more that we can show our followers the inner workings of the business, the more engagement we get on them.
Okay. And so you're an example of kind of what Brian was talking about there as well, of multi-purposing that content. So a Facebook Live that you're then loading to YouTube and stripping to use the audio for a podcast as well. So you're getting multiple pieces out to different opportunities for people to connect with you through that one Facebook Live.
And then I've actually started posting on Instagram as well, just doing a static image. Actually, clip would, I need to figure out how to do that. But yes, just an image that says, new podcast available or whatever, and then they know to look for it.
Yeah, and Teresa, you said Facebook is primary. And what would you say is secondary for your organization?
I would say Instagram is now second.
Okay. And, I'll let Ashley answer the question as well.
Do you want me to talk about the schedule?
Yes, and the week.
Yeah, I love what Mark just said, because it's really true with us right now too. You can actually, if you would watch our social, you can typically tell how busy we are based on how many social posts there are. Okay. Because for us, having brought it back in-house, it hasn't always been a priority for us. So if we're really busy on other parts of the business, the social side is the side that goes down. And that's where I think there is an advantage to having an outside agency, because they will set up, and we had this in the past, a monthly content calendar. If you're a business owner, that takes a big thing off your plate, because for us, it's one of those things we just don't make time for. In the past, posting has always been a Facebook post once a day from Monday through Friday, a single Instagram post Monday through Friday, and then about 3 tweets a day Monday through Friday. Videos, we have done some live videos in the past, typically when we're at an event.
Yep.
That's how we've done that. Something we're going to try to get better at doing. This conference has reinforced that. But we were trying to stick to that schedule, but again, for us, we haven't made it a priority.
Got it. All right. And yeah, no, I think that's good. You got to a point there. I just wanted to follow up on with Teresa then as well. So you were saying the change. So Instagram has grown for you. So that's more. That's what I wanted to talk about a little bit. Say again, over the past year, what's that evolution been like? So maybe just talk about that change. What was number 2 before, and how did that shift occur?
Yeah, I'm glad you came back to this because I was figuring out earlier today where Twitter is more businesses and more about people and pictures being worth 1,000 words kind of thing. So I think they have a picture to pull up for me. I've been working for a few months to get to 2,000 followers. And this young man, both of these young men, are 2 of our most popular men. And this picture is worth so much more than just the disabilities that you may or may not see, but the Cupid and friendship and working. And so I think that for us, pictures are a big thing. And I think that's why Instagram probably could eventually even take Facebook over. And whereas Twitter, if I heard today, it's more about businesses and connecting. So I did send a tweet today, and I tagged Petco in it, and they liked it because the individuals are out looking for jobs, and they're at Petco today. Okay. So I thought, okay, maybe that'll work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, evolution. Yeah, how's it changed over that past year, Mark?
I'm going to revise an earlier statement. YouTube is actually our number 2.
Okay.
So it's Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. How has it evolved? It's been pretty steady. I think Twitter is losing some of its luster, I think. I know that there are a lot of people that like it. I personally like it. Like when I'm trying to catch up on business information, I go to Twitter before I go anyplace else.
Okay.
But it seems that my customers are not there as much. So from a personal standpoint, I enjoy using it, but from a business standpoint, I don't know if Twitter is still the place to be. So we've been heavy on Facebook, heavy on YouTube for at least a decade. Well, how long have they been around? Somebody fact check me. Terrence is shaking his hand. I might be wrong. So about 8 to 10 years probably. And there really Instagram has started to gain steam as I've started paying more attention to it. Pinterest, we were heavier into years ago, and now I'm kind of circling back around to it because of all the chatter about retail and Pinterest. Okay. That if you are in retail, Pinterest is a great tool. I haven't seen necessarily those results, but I also haven't put a lot of time and effort into it.
Okay.
Yeah, Facebook is definitely our number 1.
All right.
Instagram is number 2. Okay. And that's stayed pretty consistent for us. And if I could add one thing also to my earlier answer, and
sure.
for who the audience is, one evolution for us has been starting to use social media. I talked in my speech before about learning your market and learning your competition. So we follow all our competitors, and that has really helped us in our business over the last year because a lot of people, when they debut a new product or a new service, they'll debut it on their social media first before it will hit retail. So for us, it's a really good way to keep our eyes on our competitors in addition to attracting our customers.
Okay, so social listening has become more important.
That's definitely become a lot more important for us.
Okay. Excellent. Now, one thing I didn't hear, and it could be, again, because of the demographics who you're trying to reach there, anybody have a active Snapchat presence? So that you're doing anything actively there? Okay. All right. Yeah. Good. So now coming back to this question here. So you're using kind of an agency that's helping you, mapping out, and Mark is saying, I'm doing it solo, it's me. And you're bringing it in-house. Now, when you say in-house, is there going to be multiple people that will post to those?
That is the $1 million question for us trying to figure that out. And I'm not saying I won't take it back to an agency. We used an out-of-state agency, a larger agency, bigger firm. And for us, we're trying to bring more things back either in-house or local. For us, it's just an easier way to operate our business. Things change from day to day. If we want to test a new product, I like to have that speed and that access to our team. So for us, it's just a matter of bringing things a little bit closer to home. Typically, when we do it in-house, it's either myself or Mackenzie. As you can tell, it's kind of the jack of all trades. It's whoever really has time to do it, is who handles it.
Now, just a practical question with that. How much of that is typically done from a mobile device itself? How much of that is done from the actual platform on a laptop or desktop? Or how much of that is done from a social media tool manager?
Ours is typically always done from a laptop, not via mobile. Again, we try to use some scheduling tools to make our lives easier, and we usually do them during the workday when we're standing at our desktops or laptops.
And one social media tool that you're scheduling with?
So we've used Hootsuite in the past, and then we've also used Buffer.
Okay.
Mine is probably 50-50 between mobile and desktop. I spend most of my day at my desk, so if I'm checking Feedly and I'm retweeting something or I'm posting something, I'll do it from my desktop. I also use Hootsuite to schedule things. I love the Pinterest schedule, not Pinterest, the Instagram scheduling on Hootsuite, which is available to business accounts, so you can schedule your Instagram posts, which is great. What was the question? No. The mobile stuff. I find that the mobile stuff is sometimes the best stuff because that's when you're for me, I'm out on the shop floor and we have a loyalty points program in the store, and randomly someone will get double points when they check in. And if I hear that from my office, I run out and I'll take a picture, of the winner and add some balloons and confetti or something and post that on Instagram. So the stuff that I do with my mobile device, I think is a lot of times better than what I'm doing on the desktop.
I think we have a really great setup. We have a PR committee that meets monthly, and Morgan from Now Marketing attends that, where we kind of plan out the following month. We release 2 blogs every month, and she sends me all the planned social about a month in advance, and I proofread it, kind of look it over at my desktop so I can kind of give it thought, and very rarely is there something I have to do anything about or even change. Actually, she'd be much better at changing my grammar than I ever would hers, so that's great. And then everything live, like where we are, it's always me posting it. I may not always be there, but that's always mobile. It's whether I'm at Marimore School's graduation or at a provider event, no matter what we're doing. And generally staff, I have just about 100 staff, they'll just text me pictures when they're out and about doing things, and it's always from my mobile. Okay.
Let's talk about engagement then. So, answering people that respond or, things that come in that way. How has that changed, and what do you do with that? And if there's anything negative, how do you handle that?
I would have liked to have listened to the other 2 first. We don't really get much negativity. We have in the past, and I've gotten some advice from Jessica or Morgan when I've needed it. Kind of learning what's the best way to handle that in a social world. Much of what we get is positive. So between me and Now Marketing, we'll like that, we'll comment, we'll thank people. Was that pretty much the question?
Sure, okay.
Most of the messages or comments that we get are through Facebook of all the platforms. We get a lot of engagement on YouTube with people commenting on our videos, it's more just, I like what you did, that sort of thing, positive stuff. Facebook, it's the messaging through Facebook, I think, can throw businesses off sometimes because we're used to the phone or we're used to email. And unless you have somebody monitoring your messages all the time, I know that even though I use Facebook every day, there have been times I've missed a message by 24 hours, and you don't want that to happen, and you hate it. And I always kick myself later if that happens. But if we get something negative, and again, not to sound like we're the best place ever, but that doesn't happen very often. We always address it. We start by addressing it publicly, and then if it needs to go further, we'll ask the person to contact us offline. But we don't delete negativity. We don't respond aggressively to negativity. We try and solve that problem if we can in the public eye, and if it isn't working out for one reason or another, we'll ask the customer to follow up with us offline.
Okay, I'm going to buck the trend.
Okay.
We've totally had negativity. And this has become kind of a weirdly fun internal challenge for us. And this has also evolved. So a year ago, if somebody had written us with a complaint or anything, they would have gotten this very stodgy, formal response, which is what we thought this is what a corporation should do. Oh, thank you for reaching out to us. I am sorry to hear that. blah, 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 blah. That's changed. And so now we have tried to respond to take the tactic, hey, if somebody walked up and said this to our face, what would we say in response? And then we try to say, okay, how can we take that person that's really ticked at us and make them into one of our biggest fans? Okay. So now if somebody reaches out, so I'll give you an example. We sell a mixer bottle. We had somebody got a bottle and it didn't have the actual mixer in it, right? They're ticked. I'd be upset too. So our response would be on social media is...
So it was a mixer bottle without the mixer?
Without the actual mixer. So they got just the bottle, not the inside part that mixes, okay. Right? Critically important for a mixer bottle. So our response was, oh my gosh, a mixer bottle without a mixer, that really stinks. We're so sorry. And so what we do is we'll send them not only what we owe them, like we'll send them the mixer and then to say, you know, we're so sorry you had to go through this. We're going to send you a little bonus. We send them something free, right? And it is amazing. People expect so little these days. Just the fact that they're getting a response, they're so excited about. And then we always do handwritten notes. That's really big for us. So when we send them their replacement product, it always has a handwritten note in it. And most of the time, that person will come back onto our social media and say, this company has the best customer service I have ever experienced.
Okay, got it. All right, let's go to measurement a little bit then and talk about, you know, how do you determine, what do you watch, you know, so that you can determine, yeah, let's keep doing this or let's try to change this. So what, maybe on a monthly basis or however you do that, what measurements do you use to see if you're effective with what you're doing?
Right. This has also changed for us a little bit, okay. Right? So for us, for a long time, we looked at those basic vanity metrics that we know we really shouldn't look at, but you do, right? It's hard not to do that. Now our focus is on our ads, on click-through rate and conversion. For me, I know that for us, sales is important. It's an important part of social media to move some of our product. So to see, you know, how our sales are, how does something respond. But generally speaking, click-through rates right now are pretty important for us and overall conversion.
Okay.
For us, I guess for the online component, you know, I can look at Google Analytics and see if people are coming from our social channels and then if those people are converting. So that is what I look at for the website. For the retail store, for the brick and mortar store, I look at reach and engagement. You know, if I see engagement, if I have a post that only 11 people have liked, but it's getting a lot of reach, and all those 11 people have commented on the post, then I'm fine. You know, I don't have to get 1,000 people liking a post to feel good about it or consider it a success. If I'm engaging, even if I'm only engaging with a small number of people, it's still a win for me. If I post something and I get one like and you know they don't comment and it doesn't go anywhere, well then that's a problem. So reach and engagement really are what we look at.
I would agree with Mark. Every month we look at the metrics, the reach and engagement. However, for us, because we are dealing in a people business and we are local, one of the biggest things to me was just yesterday I was in a meeting and somebody who I would never have expected it said, you know, Teresa and her team have done a really good job letting the community know what we do. Or having somebody from the community say, hey, on Facebook yesterday I saw that article about you guys are going to build a house for men with autism. So I think the personal relationships and the information I get that way probably tells me where we're doing a really good job or where we maybe need to step it up a little bit.
Okay, all right. And maybe it's a spin-off of that, and kind of coming back to the song and what I talked about at the beginning, that we have to kind of be a champion for our business. We have to try to own that, take a look at things that haven't gone well, and rectify those to keep going. Have there been any, you know, missteps or things that you say, you know, that didn't work, and we learn from that kind of experiences?
Yes, we've had a couple. Because we work in a unique industry where HIPAA and privacy laws are very important, we have to make sure we have releases of information for every individual's picture we use. So you can imagine with 900 people, how difficult that can be, especially in a group of people. And there's some times where I kind of take the risk knowing that if you're at an event like this, your picture is probably going to be used and it's probably going to be on social media. But we have had some parents call and say, hey, my daughter's face, her image, she can't be used on Facebook. So we have to take them right down. But they're always really cool about it. It isn't like it's a big deal, but we have a social media list. We follow pretty religiously, because just the fact that the Allen County Board of DD shows your photo, there is some indication that there is a health condition or a medical problem or something that people could say. So in our world, there is that challenge of releases.
Okay.
I guess I have a couple. The first, I think maybe a lot of people have been guilty of at some point, and it goes back to looking at the wrong metrics, and that's your Facebook likes. There was a time that I would run Facebook ads to get likes, and I admit it. And clearly that is not important. I mean, you want your likes to grow organically and not because you're paying for them. So I guess I would caution anyone, and especially working with companies that say that they're going to get you likes. Don't worry about that. Your likes will come, and focus on the people who are there and have already said we like you. The other is not so much a misstep or a mistake, but it's something that I think businesses need to deal with because of social media, and that's that people think that you're accessible all the time. So we have customers on the West Coast who will send a message at 1 a.m. or whatever and expect a response immediately. And we come in the next day and we've got 3 Facebook messages 10 minutes apart with someone who's very frustrated that they can't get a hold of somebody. We also have a local customer who sends us like fan fiction through Facebook Messenger, and it'll be this multi-paragraph thing about the Transformers, and we can't just ignore it. You have to do something. So we'll either have a 1-sentence response or we'll give the thumbs up back or something. But it's just odd that you get something like that. But because he is a customer, I have to acknowledge that, yes, I got this, and I don't know if I have the knowledge to disagree with him on some of these Transformers aspects, but I will at least say, you go, buddy. Thanks for sending that.
Our biggest misstep, and this has been a misstep in my leadership and oversight, has been giving away control of the tone of our social,
okay.
And putting it to the side and not necessarily checking that content calendar closely enough, right? It would come in, I was busy, I kind of rubber stamp it, right? And you can't do that. If it's your brand, that's you being put out there. So I gave up too much control, too much creative control, and then some of what was coming out was not necessarily reflective of what we wanted the brand to be. So for me, that was a learning lesson to say, hey, I do need to carefully oversee this if someone else is going to do it for us.
Gotcha. Okay, so that was with the agency that was helping you, but there was a sense that was off tone.
Correct.
Okay, and let's talk about that a little bit. Maybe you can give a little glimpse of what you want that tone to be.
Right. So for us, we're a products-based company.
Yep.
All our posts have always been pushing product, the hard sell. And for us, we would like to see it, as I said in my speech this morning, how do you make it a little bit more inspirational? Even though we're a products-based company. Like at the end of the day, we are a retail company, but that doesn't mean we can't have an inspirational side to it. So and for us, one of the challenges has been our product line is so non-cohesive, right? We make scooter stands, we make water bottles, we make flying discs. It's how do you tie it all together so it comes across as consistent, but you're not putting content out there just to put content out there, which we've definitely been guilty of doing in the past.
Okay. It's inspirational. It's kind of you're looking for ways to incorporate that more.
That's exactly right.
Got it. Mark?
Our tone is usually playful and fun, and we try and connect with people's, I guess, emotions,
Yep.
but not like the deep not the like sad emotions and things, although there have been times we've had customers pass away and we've shared that information on social media, and some people knew those individuals, some didn't, but they still kind of offered their condolences and they could relate. And even to lose someone within the geek community, it's something I felt that we should do, that we should share. We've had a longtime customer pass away. Please keep his family in your thoughts. And again, because it's very personal, you get the response from your followers. While we do keep it kind of light and fun, we have it's not an official nonprofit, but we have a cosplay group cosplayers are people that dress up in costume and go to comic conventions and things like that locally, and they're called Heroes for Hope, and they do appear at charity events and usually things involving children. It's a new-ish thing for us. We've been doing it for about 2 years, and we really need to get the official nonprofit side going, but we share that information a lot, and it's another thing that I'm not necessarily trumpeting it or shouting from the mountaintops like, hey, we're awesome because we're doing this volunteer stuff, but it's another reason why people like us, because we're not just a retail store. We're giving back to the community, we're doing things to make kids smile, and I guess just to kind of wrap up that garbled sentence I just gave out, there was a post I saw earlier this week, I think it was, and it was 3 ways that you can beat Amazon. Sorry. Number 1 was to shine at customer service, to go above and beyond and to offer the best customer service that you can. Number 2 was to be involved in your community, and whether that's sponsoring things, attending different events. And then number 3 is holding events within your location, building community within your location. Okay. And those are the 3 things that we try to do.
So you host things in the store occasionally? Yes. Mm-hmm. And do you ever go live during those?
We have. Our biggest event is Free Comic Book Day. Who has been to Free Comic Book Day?
Not in Lima, but yes.
Oh, we'll have to fix that. We'll have about 2,000 people show up for that event. It's always the first Saturday in May. Mark your calendars, everyone. I expect to see you the first Saturday in May. It's always Kentucky Derby Day. Just keep that in mind. And we'll do, the night before, I'll do a Facebook Live walkthrough of, if you've never been before, here's what you can expect. And I walk people through how they come into the building, where they're going to get their free comics, what's going to happen after they get their comics. And those are always big engagement videos, and we do them. I don't do a lot of live videos because I forget during the events, because I'm usually running around to make sure nothing's on fire or no one's on fire, and forget to do the live videos. That's something I need to work on.
I would say our tone is encouragement, inspirational, and also hope. And I think that's probably a unique thing for us. We wrote a blog this year about hope after we lost 10 clients. 10 clients had died. And also to make people believe and understand they can hire people with individuals with disabilities. That's very important to us, that we're part of the community, we give back to the community, and we want the community to know that we have employees. We can help you, we can work together. So that's always a big part of our tone too.
Okay, inspiration, hope, and connection, but emotion. I think we heard that this morning as well in the sessions, though, that it's more memorable if you can connect with an emotion. So, and you guys are all trying to tie that in a little bit. Let's go back to the ads. Ashley talked about it a little bit. We definitely know you do some ads. And any ad use, Teresa, in your realm?
No, I tried Facebook Boost one time or whatever that is, and I think it billed my credit card for 5 times, and I didn't see any hope for that. All right. No ads for us.
No ads in that arena. Okay, Mark?
Don't give up, Teresa. Don't hit the button 5 times, Teresa. I've got an ad running now. We've got an event coming up 2 weeks from yesterday. In the comics, Batman and Catwoman are getting married in Batman number 50. I have nothing to do with it, but thank you. So we're actually having a mock wedding between 2 of our cosplayers, a Batman and a Catwoman, at the store on the 4th of July at noon. We'll have wedding cake and champagne and all this stuff. So we're running.
You got to go live on that one, okay?
Remind me. Mike, send me a text the night before to do that. So I am running an ad right now. I'm boosting that event. And I've discovered that, especially with the local demographic, I should be running an ad every week. I could spend $5 a day, and that's gonna, number 1, increase the people that see my page and like it, and number 2, hopefully get people to come through the door because they see something. I mean, it could just be a video of us walking through the store, and they see something on the wall that, I got to go to Alter Ego and check that out. But for as little as $5 a day, you can run Facebook ads and I think see a positive return on investment.
Ashley, I'm going to twist your question a little bit just because I know you're already doing ads. So I'm kind of curious. I mean, between like Facebook, and you said there's sponsored ads on Amazon, and then I'm curious about kind of Google as well, and kind of what the mix is of those percentages or something like that.
Yeah, so we don't do any Google advertising
Okay.
right now. And currently we're probably about 60% Amazon, about 40% Facebook ads.
Right.
We do typically have Facebook ads running all the time. We change it up usually by product. For us, we also use Facebook ads to test products. Like if we run a new color or a new pattern or something like that, we can usually get a pretty quick read on how our consumer is going to respond to that. So at any given time, we may have 10 ads running all the time, varied to different demographics. And for us, it's a lot about testing to see the consumer response, doing imaging testing to see what resonates with our customer. But the Amazon ads and Facebook ads are kind of two different beasts. Very different, but both can be very effective and have been very effective for us.
Okay. More specifically then with your Facebook ads then, are you driving them to a website to make a purchase? Or are you using things within Facebook that they can purchase right there, or what's?
We've done both.
Okay.
So we have done products on the Facebook store and had people purchase that way.
Okay.
We've pushed traffic to Amazon, and we've pushed traffic to our own site.
From Facebook to Amazon.
From Facebook
Okay.
to Amazon. And then we've tested it from Facebook directly to a product page on Amazon and then to a brand page. This is something that we try to test all the time. For us, we see better conversion through our Facebook store or Amazon than we do to our own site. So that's been kind of a really interesting and eye-opening and impacts how we've done future ads.
Okay.
Maybe if I could shed some light on that, I think it might be some of that is consumer familiarity with those other brands, that they're familiar with Facebook and they're familiar with Amazon. They may not be familiar with 50 Strong. And that goes for us too. We sell, most of my website business is pre-order activity. We pre-sell items that are limited editions. Man, I could talk up here and talk about how confusing my industry is forever, but so we can get orders today for something that doesn't ship for 12 months. And we don't charge the customer until it actually ships. So my website generates more pre-orders, but eBay generates more in-stock sales for me. And you can also do paid advertising on eBay with promoted posts, and I do that as well.
Okay.
Can I add one more thing?
Yeah.
Sorry, one more thing to add to that. And when we talk about, Mark's exactly right with the familiarity to Amazon. I'm that person. I order everything on Amazon. And we actually have started putting in the text of our Facebook ad, available on Amazon. If you're a Prime member, you get 2-day shipping. And that helps to increase our conversion, especially if you're a Prime member. And again, that's part of testing. And once you test your ads, you see what works. And that's been beneficial for us.
Good. So learning and experimenting.
This is the Ashley and Mark Show. Welcome. And then I'm sure what you do is when you ship, maybe are you using Amazon FOB or whatever it is, or FBA? Okay, so Amazon ships her products. They ship pallets of products to Amazon, and then Amazon ships those out. We ship all of our eBay orders in-house, and every one of those eBay orders has a postcard in it suggesting that people come back and shop on our website, because you're going to save money. I'm going to save money if they buy on my website versus eBay, but they're also going to get more benefits shopping directly through me than they do shopping through a third party. Anything you want to add?
No, I agree with that. Yeah, putting an insert into your package to drive your traffic back, it's kind of creating that full close the loop and making sure that all of your dots are connected.
Yeah, and giving them that one-to-one connection to you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay. Let's talk about a related aspect then, and that's email marketing. So what are you doing with email marketing? Does social, do you do social to take them to your website, to sign up for a list, or anything like that? How does email marketing come into the mix for you?
I have a session about this in about an hour.
And I told Mark before the session, I am really looking forward to his session. In fact, I sneak peeked his slides.
There we go.
On our Google shared Google Drive for speakers, because this is a topic that I want to learn more about. So I will be taking lots of notes during Mark's presentation, because I know this is an area that we are missing out on.
Okay, so you want to grow in that area as an organization.
Yes, I do email marketing.
Okay.
We don't. We do still do a traditional newsletter, so we do get
Traditional as in print?
Yeah, we'll do print, and we can email it, and we'll post it.
Okay, so there is a piece of that can go out via email to, is that a monthly
We're doing
frequency?
it 4 times a year.
4 times a year. Mm-hmm. Okay, all right, good. All right, so that's a little piece of this. I want to get ready to open it up to the audience here to ask a couple final questions as we wind down. So I'm going to give them one more question. You guys be thinking about it, and then we'll get them back on here. So my last question to you guys before we go to the audience then is one story of impact, something that was positive, funny, that comes to mind when you think of how your organization, company has been involved with social media, something that has, it's kind of a, highlight, funny, positive.
Is this on? Yeah. I think because of the business I'm in, the individuals we serve with disabilities really feel like they're celebrities when we use their pictures. And many times I'll be like, you're going to put this on Facebook, aren't you? I mean, they're just so happy and so excited. And so I can just think of a million times that people have come up and said, you'll put this on Facebook, won't you? And it's just, it's just so heartwarming.
Yeah. So they're feeling affirmed by when their photo is used. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I guess the best example I mean, everything we try to do everything funny. So it's,
Okay.
But as I mentioned, my manager and I do a weekly review show. We did a review of a comic. This was many years ago, probably 6 or 7 years ago, and that was it. We usually talk about 6 books that come out, 3 for me, 3 for him. It goes up, blah blah blah. So I'm at a comic convention. Actually, there are 2 parts to this. I'm at a comic convention in Columbus, and I go to see one of the artists that I wanted to see, who lives in New York. He's been doing comics for 20 or 30 years. And I go up to him and I'm like, hi, can you sign this for me? And he's like, do we know each other? I said, no, I've never met you before. This is the first time. He's like, you look so familiar. So he signs my books and he's like, you reviewed the comic book that I did. Somebody sent me the link to the review that you did. So this artist that I've admired his work for decades had seen me review his comic book. And thankfully I gave it a favorable review. And it was a good encounter.
I think for us, kind of some wins that we celebrate are when we're trying to target a specific person with a Facebook ad, and then we realize that they get it. We have had that happen with some of our buyers that we work with, that during a meeting they'll make a comment and they'll say, oh my gosh, I keep getting served with your ads. And we're like, yeah, like you don't say that during the meeting, but you're like, oh my gosh. We are putting a lot of effort into our marketing campaign.
Yep.
And he sees that and appreciates that. But you walk out of the meeting and you're like, yes, it worked, and you know that it had an impact. And that's what's so fun about social media, is you can see that immediate impact.
I liked your story from earlier about you're targeting the wife of a Walmart executive there. I said, that's pretty granular. Yeah, targeting right there. Yeah, very much so.